Hey, it's Tim from Happy Mag here, and today we're going to show you the new Teenage Engineering OP-1 field. We've got special guest Jonti to help us explore it. It's worth mentioning that he's never used this before, so what you're watching is his first play with the synth. This is a workstation, it's a drum machine, it's a synth, it's a 4-track tape machine, it's a sampler, it's a playground, and it looks the part too. But don't you be fooled, this is no toy. This is the second release of the Teenage Engineering Field series. The first was the TX6, which we recently reviewed. We'll link you to that below. Clearly in their Field series, Teenage Engineering is envisioning a future where all of our music will be made on our phones, with connectivity between these devices being so easy. If you already know what the OP-1 is, you might very well be here to find out about this new instrument. It's an incredible upgrade to the original that was released over 10 years ago. It instantly made waves amongst the music community, with artists like Bon Iver, Tame Impala, St. Vincent and Childish Gambino heavily using it in their productions. So why is this better? Why is it more expensive? And why is it not called the OP-2? Let's find out. Simply put, Teenage Engineering says it's louder, thinner, and 100 times better. I will also add that it resembles the original OP-1 too much to be called the OP-2. I'm going to tell you a few key features. The OP-1 field is stereo. Every synth engine, drum sound and effects are stereo. Each engine in the original was mono. Even though you could pan your mix at the end for a stereo output, everything was mono. The screen and the graphics are much more pleasing, with a better contrast and a solid glass cover. The battery also lasts for 24 hours. There's new tape machines inside, like a porta cassette, a vintage tape machine, and a mini disc. And there's a bunch more effects, including a really cool reverb called Mother. It's got Bluetooth connectivity, and it can be a host or a device for audio or MIDI, and it has a USB-C connection. The buttons and the knobs feel more solid, and it's also got a better speaker. We're going to let Jonti have a play now, and also his bandmate Ben from the dieyoungs, giving his first impression of this instrument, as he owns an original OP-1. After that, we're going to give you a quick tour of the OP-1 field.
Ah, awesome. Okay. Ooh. Interesting. They're all like playing sequences. Ah, the graphics are so beautiful. Yeah, I always love it when synths get extra animated and you forget that it can just be like anything.
Yeah.
On a screen. Ah, right. So it's like pretty physical modeling sounds as well. Cool. Oh. That's pretty cool. That's cool. This little simple string line. Tape loop. But I can really already tell that once you like get the hang of it, and it goes like so insanely deep, and you could just have a whole vocabulary of anything you wanted to make and jam with and have its own little universe in there. Yeah, I just had an insane amount of fun.
So you've actually got different tape sections.
Yeah.
Wow,
and they all do like
crazy.
such different stuff, and that was really
That's
cool.
the one that used to be on the old one, the vintage 4-track.
Well, Jonti set up the cassette one.
Yeah, the
That was
cassette.
this awesome cassette.
Man, this looks
Yeah.
crazy. That's
Yeah.
the good one you were using?
Yeah, that's one, and it really like it adds like all the hiss and the flutter was like really tasteful. It wasn't like a plug-in or anything. And when you slowed it down, it had like sounded awesome, like a Porter Studio, which I used to use all the time.
And you
Did
can
you?
extend
Yeah.
the time a lot more than you used to be able to. as
Oh,
well.
really?
right.
Yeah, this is crazy.
There's so much deep diving with the OP-1 field and a lot to discover for yourself. So here's a quick start guide to get you going. Starting at the top, there's a new and improved speaker and one on the side and underneath as well. Then there's a master volume and a fake button. Then there's the comment/help button to show you where you are and what you're working on. And also that shows the battery life as well. This is new on the OP-1 field. I'm just gonna jump down to the shift button because we'll be using that a lot. Then there's the metronome. That has the BPM and the tape speed. And it's here where you start to discover that these 4 encoder knobs, blue, ochre, gray, and orange, all relate to the screen. So you can see that the blue is working the BPM, the ochre is working the middle functions, the gray is working the tape speed, and the orange is working the metronome level. These have buttons now on them as well. The display is glass, not plastic, like the OP-1. Then there's the internal microphone, which is here, that turns it on and off. If you hold down Shift, you can change the input. That was the radio. Then there's the mix down screen. You can change the side between A and B. This is where you record your mix. If you hold down Shift, you can get to your global functions. Now to the 4 main areas: the synth engine, the drum engine, the tape, and the mixer. If you're on the synth engine or drum engine, Shift +1. If you're on the tape machine, press Shift plus tape to change the tapes. There's 4 new tapes in the OP-1 field. You've got the mini disc, Porter 4-track, cassette tape, vintage 4-track, and the studio 4-track. Then if you're on the mixer, you can see the layout. These 8 buttons act as sound banks if you're on the synth engine or on the drum machine. And if you're on tape, they act as tape tricks. You've got loop, reverse, and much more. If you're on the mixer, these 2 can act as memories. Change the panning by holding down Shift. Then you have your lift and your drop buttons, your record, play, your stop. Then you have your tape scrub. But then if you change it to the synth engine, you have your keyboard octave up and down. You've got your tape cut as well. And then there's the keyboard. And then you have your sequencer. Knowing nothing about this before I picked it up, it was a steep learning curve. But once I learnt even just a little bit, I was drawn in. It was also great to see Jonti's impression and how quickly and intuitively he made a beat on it. This is a really fun instrument that you will not regret spending the money on. The OP-1 Field comes in at 3,299 Australian dollars, and you can get it anywhere you get your musical gadgets from. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.